Hello, whistleblowers everywhere. So, first of all, Happy New Year, happy 2025. It's absolutely freezing cold here on the West Lancashire coast. We've even had a little smattering of snow, which is quite unusual. It has to get really fairly cold here. So it's just above freezing. Last night it got down to about -3, so quite cold, quite chilly, but let's have a look at a lovely hornpipe today. It's a Paddy Fahey hornpipe, it's just known as Paddy Fahey's #1. He wrote a few hornpipes, but as usual, Paddy Fahey never gave his compositions titles. He just recorded a few of them, never commercially, and they were only ever done in a sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Informal kind of way. So there's quite a few different Paddy Fahey compositions. Now, Paddy Fahey lived to the ripe old age of 102, and he was from Galway. He was a Galway fiddler and wrote some absolutely wonderful tunes, and this is one of them. It's Paddy Fahey's #1. So, as usual, what I'm going to do is just going to play through each section. It's a two-part hornpipe. It's A, B, B, and we have a little turnaround bit on the second time bars. So I'm going to play it through without any ornamentation first, and then we'll just play through the basic version as written, and then we'll look at some possible places where we can add a little bit of ornamentation. Won't be loads and loads, just a few little bits and pieces. So here we go. Paddy Fahey's #1. So I put a little bounce in this, and I think a lot of hornpipes suit that kind of little bounce. So even though it's written in straight quavers or straight eighth notes, we're going to play it in a more of a dotted way. So we start on what's called an anacrusis or a pickup, and so we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go through the tune. So nice and steady. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So that's the A part. When we play it through the second time, we want to go to the second time bar. So we go, and we'd put that little triplet pickup. And of course on the second time bar we've got that little introduction to go back again, so it's the same anacrusis, the same pickup. Okay, so in terms of breathing, we want to try and breathe after those long notes. So we've got so I snuck a little breath in after that G in bar 3. So take advantage of that C natural quarter note crotchet to get a breath in. end of the first time bar. So So because this isn't played particularly fast, we can clip a little bit off that G in the third bar, the first note of the third bar, and take a little crafty breath. Of course, if you're playing this quicker, you might be able to get to the C. Which is perfectly possible. So at a slower speed, you might want to get that crafty in-breath after the G. But if we're playing at a bit of a quicker tempo, then we can go all the way to that C and take a breath there, and obviously take a breath after the G in the first time and second time bar. Okay, so let's have a look at the next bit. So I'm going to take it from the triplets at the end of the second time bar. 1, 2. So you've got a nice C there. And I can carry at that speed all the way to the G in the first time bar. So let's have a look again. So I took a little crafty breath there after the C in the second bar on the second line, just because I was running out of breath and I needed to get a breath there. But when you play it up to speed, you should be all right. So yeah, it's perfectly doable when you do it at a faster tempo, but obviously when you're first learning it, you need to get a breath in. So the important thing is don't let your breath displace the tempo. That's really important. So it has to keep going at a very steady pace. So I'm going to play this all the way through now, and I'm going to put a click, a metronome click, and we're going to do it at a nice steady pace at probably 66 is a good one. Okay, so turn it up a little bit. Okay, so this is at 66. I'm going to play it through all the way through. Again, no ornamentation. We're just going to get the basic tune first. So 1, 2. It's also at 2-2 rather than 4-4, yeah? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So that was at 66. Let's do it slower now, and let's try doing it and keeping the beat really steady. So let's do it at 52. So this is quite a bit slower, and again, you might need to breathe more. In fact, you will need to breathe more. But let's see if we can get the flow going. So 1, 2, 1. So that was at 55, and if you noticed, I needed to sneak a little breath halfway through. And again, it depends what whistle you're using as well. So if you need to sneak a breath in, that's absolutely fine. But remember, do not let your breath displace the tempo. So that's really important. Okay, so that's the basic version of Paddy Fahey's number 1. Let's have a look at what's ornamentation we can add to this to just spruce it up a little bit. So we're going to be looking at using a few, or rather a new ornament which we haven't really looked at before. It's called a twist or a cassave, and it's basically so it's note above, note itself, and then go back to the second note. So if you look at bar 3, so we're putting a F, G, F. It's just a little kind of and on bar 4 F, G, F, D, C sharp, D, E, F, E, D, C sharp. So I use them on the Fs and on the Es. So let's have a look through from the beginning. So that's where so I'm going to play through the A part very slowly, so I'll show you where these twists come in. So that's the cassave. So you go up to the note above, back down to the note, and then go to the note which is after it. So let's play through the A part with those twists. Okay, so now we're going on to the B part, and again we can use some of the cassavs, some of the twists, just to add a little bit of ornaments. Now, the difference between these ornaments and things like rolls, cuts, taps, double cut rolls, that kind of thing, is that these are melodic ornaments, not rhythmic. The rhythm has to be right, but we want to hear the notes that we are using in the ornament, rather than with a cut and a tap where you just hear the rhythm. These are notes which we want to hear, yeah? So we want to hear the notes. They're not rhythmic ornamentation, they're melodic ornaments. Yes, the rhythm has to be precise, but we want to hear the note that we are using for the little twiddly bits, those twists. And if you want, you can end on that short roll. Cut, tap. And that is a rhythmic ornament, so you don't want to hear the notes of the cut and the tap. So those are the cassavs, or the twists. Let's play it all the way through now. So the only other thing which we can do is maybe add a little short roll. So I'm doing a short roll on the B, cut, tap. Now on the second bar, separating the two E's with a cut. And I'm also putting a cut on that high G, so now we've got the basic version with those ornaments. Let's play it through again. Let's do it at 66. So click it set to 66, and I'm going to include those cassavs, the twists, and play through each part twice. Here we go. 1, 2. That was at 66, and you could hear those little twists. So you might want to practice those twists separately at a slower tempo, and then put them back. Yeah, you can add some variation to this, which is nice. So some of the things that I like to do for variation. Put a little. From the top. So just a little variation on that second. So we're tripletizing the whole, if that's a word, tripletizing, but I'm going to use it anyway. So B part. Again, we're adding. And we can use that same tripletize the whole bar, yeah? So a nice little variation we could do on the last line. Again, triplet. Right, so I'm going to play it through. First time as written, second time with those little variations. So here we go. Paddy Fahey's number 1. So yeah, have a play through it, try some of the variations, and even think about adding your own variations. Again, it's up to you how you want to add your variations. That was just a few sort of on-the-fly suggestions, things that I might like to try and do, but certainly give it a go. You don't have to add any variations. It's a bit of fun if you want to do that, but if you want to just learn the tune, and it's important to just learn the basic tune first before we start adding things like those twists, the cassavs, or the rolls, or any variations. Learn the basic tune first, and it's a lovely tune. So that's my tune breakdown of Paddy Fahey's number 1. If you found it helpful, if you found it useful, if you've enjoyed it, then if you would subscribe, that would be brilliant. Yeah, so subscribe if you can, and look out for new content. There's going to be some new stuff coming up fairly soon. I've been a little bit lax sort of in the last few months, had a lot going on, a lot of family stuff going on, so I've not really been able to get the time to do some of these tune breakdowns or these tuition videos. But anyway, I will hopefully be doing a few more of them, well, lots more of them in the future. So again, yeah, please subscribe if you can. The more subscribers I get, the better it is. So until I see you next time, folks, take care. Hopefully you're not too cold. If you are, please stay warm, folks. If you're in a cold climate, stay warm, stay safe, and happy whistling, folks. Bye bye for now.